Appreciate you clicking on an episode of Side Flick. Let's dive into some movie news. Some of the stuff we'll be discussing here today, guys, is we have our first reactions for Venom 3. How high are the praises and how low are the negatives? Tom Holland just got cast in the next Christopher Nolan movie. Why is the internet going crazy over this? As well as us just literally finding out moments ago that Blade has been delayed indefinitely. Oh, we're going to be diving into that along with so much more. So you guys know the drill. Leave your opinions down below. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And man, did you see that Gladiator 2 popcorn bucket that Cinemark just came out with? This isn't sponsored or anything. I am just absolutely amazed by it. So one, it's cool that it's the Coliseum, but it's going to have a QR code so that you can scan with your phone, and through AR tech, you will actually be able to see a little gladiator battle in the popcorn bucket. Guys, the popcorn bucket game has been getting a little too wild here. It's time to watch this one, honey. And this year's popcorn bucket video is going to be really tough. So I need to know your guys' top 3 popcorn buckets this year so far. We still got 2.5 months left. Who knows what other craziness we're about to see. Oh, and by the way, today's the last day you can pre-order the Terrifier 3 popcorn bucket. Use my link in the description or the pinned comment. You don't want Terrifier 4 to come out and you missed out on this one. But okay, getting to the actual news that we got to discuss here today, we got a trailer that came out today for a new Ke Huy Quan film titled Love Hurts. Now, immediately, if you tell me Mr. Kwan's part of the movie, I am already sold and I got my ticket because I think he is just one of those actors I always want to root for. The fact that he's also going to be doing martial arts and the fight scenes look pretty interesting from the looks of the trailer, I feel like I'm going to be very entertained, but I'm also going to be honest and say the story of this movie really isn't selling me. Nothing about the trailers other than the action scenes really sold me on it, and man, that kind of hurts to say because anything with this actor, I want to be there rooting for. But still, I wanted to bring it to the attention of you guys and see what you thought about Love Hurts and whether you're going to be interested in this movie and its story. Another trailer that got released this week, and it is the spooky season, and it involves Goosebumps, one of my guilty pleasure shows as a kid. Well, you guys remember that last year, Disney Plus released a Goosebumps series. It starred Justin Long, featured Slappy the Dummy, and while I didn't exactly love it, I didn't hate the show either. I thought it was entertaining enough, but not really what I wanted from a modern day Goosebumps show. Well, season 2 now has its trailer. It's going to be starring David Schwimmer along with a whole new group of cast members and abandoning the story from last season, making every season an anthology instead of every episode like the previous show. Just like the last season, the main storyline was following Slappy the Dummy and then incorporating other books throughout the episodes. The main storyline they'll be following this time around is Stay Out of the Basement, which is actually the second Goosebumps book ever made. From there, even though the show will be following a linear story, it'll still tell stories from The Haunted Car, Monster Blood, The Girl Who Cried Monster, The Ghost Next Door, and Welcome to Camp Nightmare. Looks interesting enough. The only thing I really like about this Goosebumps show is that it's slightly more mature than what you're expecting. You know, the old Goosebumps show was very family friendly. This one at times has things where you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm sitting down to watch this with my 10-year-old. So I'm gonna give it another chance, but man, like, how hard is it just to give us anthology episodes and modernize the old books? And well, one more horror movie TV show story I want to discuss here today. It got reported by Deadline that Mike Flanagan will be bringing to life Carrie in an 8-episode series for Amazon. Mike Flanagan, if you don't know, has produced some of the best horror-related shows on Netflix, so really hearing his name, especially attached to any Stephen King book, you're pretty much already wanting to see what he's gonna do with it. And even though, yeah, I'm gonna check this out and be excited for whatever Mike Flanagan does, there is a part of me that's like, what is left to tell about Carrie? Now, Carrie, don't get me wrong, is one of my favorite Stephen King movies, both the original 1976 version and remake that came out with Chloe Moretz. I really dig that Carrie story, but I'm also like, what is left to tell from it? I feel like you've done everything you can from those 2 adaptations. Unless this series starts with episode 1 of being the prom and the giant massacre, and then the rest of the episodes follow suit after that, or it's kind of like a sequel to the book, I don't know how much more interested I would be. There are people pointing out, well, Mike Flanagan can finally give us a real adaptation, because something I didn't know, because I don't read. What is a book? I've never seen one. I don't think they exist. But apparently in the actual Stephen King book, one thing that the movies never do right is that Carrie is overweight. She's actually fat in the book, and is one of the more messed up reasons why the bullies choose pig's blood to cover her with, because they see her as a pig. But if making Carrie fat is the only new thing we're really gonna do here, is it needed? Who knows? Maybe Mike Flanagan has a unique, different take on it that can also be faithful to the original book. But I throw it off to you guys. Are you excited to see Carrie be adapted once again? Bringing us here to talk about a story that just broke moments ago. Marvel Studios has now removed Blade from their release calendar, meaning the movie is not just delayed, it's delayed indefinitely. There is a difference between a movie being delayed and being delayed indefinitely. When a film is delayed, it usually just means, oh, it's moved from this month to that month, or heck, even a year off. When it's delayed indefinitely, it's delayed without a date in mind, and we have no idea when or if it'll come out. It has been the biggest running joke for the past couple of years if this Blade movie is even going to happen. Even though I heard people say that and always joke around being like, movie's not happening, it's canceled, Mahershala Ali's gonna drop out because he's tired of waiting, I always kind of laughed and was like, guys, this is Kevin Feige we're talking about. The man has got it down. He's gonna get this film made one way or another. But now we are on the 5th, 6th update on this Blade movie, continuously being delayed, now without a release date. Okay, I'm starting to think this movie actually isn't happening now. And that kind of sucks, but it also makes sense with where Marvel currently is right now. I think Kevin Feige is solely focused on wrapping up the multiverse saga. That's with the movies that he has coming up with Captain America Brave New World, The Fantastic Four, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. Spider-Man 4 also thrown in there, but I think that's what Kevin Feige's focus is let me just finish this multiverse world that we started, put a neat little bow on it, and now that we're done with that, let's go back to characters like Moon Knight, Blade, throw in Ghost Rider. And so with that in mind, until Secret Wars comes out, I don't think we're seeing this Blade movie. And that means Mahershala Ali, if he's still staying, is waiting for a very long time. Because yeah, we did just get reports that they're planning to film Avengers Doomsday early next year, but they also made it clear in these articles that they're not filming Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars back to back. So being super realistic, I think the earliest we could see a Blade movie is in the year 2028. And coincidentally enough, Marvel did put up 3 new release dates for that year in February, May, and November of 2028. But man, it just sucks. And I guess we should have seen this coming with Mahershala Ali finally working back up in Hollywood. I mean, he has a role in the new Jurassic Park movie. I'm sure we're going to start seeing him pop up in so many other things, and just would not be surprised if at the end of the day, he's no longer Blade. Good news is though, that new Predator movie, Predator Badlands, will be taking Blade's spot of November 7th, 2025. Let me know what you guys think about this Blade news, and do you think the movie is eventually going to happen? Moving on, yesterday the world was shocked, at least I know I was, because it got announced Tom Holland has been cast in the next Christopher Nolan movie. Oh, it's an exciting time when we have a new Christopher Nolan movie on the horizon, because this director just seems to always put out a banger. And well, one name I really was not expecting to be attached to the movie was Tom Holland. Myself and the internet were kind of going crazy last night with this news, and we were all just happy for Tom Holland. I know one should never pay too much attention to the negative press on certain social media websites, but last month there was a tweet that went viral about Tom Holland saying pushing 30 and not having a career outside of Spider-Man is crazy levels of washed, which one is incredibly rude, man. This guy's living the dream. But it did garner over 345,000 likes, and people then started discussing, is Tom Holland's movie career outside of Spider-Man really doing that well? And even being a Tom Holland lover, I gotta admit, the movie choices he's been picking outside of Spider-Man haven't been exactly my cup of tea. I mean, the thing I've most liked was probably Uncharted, and I'm still kind of on that movie. I was disappointed by Cherry. I did think his Netflix movie with Robert Pattinson was alright. Didn't even bother watching Chaos Walking, and a lot of people didn't end up liking that film. And I see Tom Holland as a nice guy. He just recently did that interview where he opened up about his alcohol problem, but also how excited he is for Spider-Man 4. And every time I see the guy interviewed, he just seems like a genuinely nice person. So When I see a nice person, I want them to win, and him now being cast in a Christopher Nolan movie lets me know finally is a step in the right direction for his career, and that's with us not even knowing what the movie is about. But we know because it's Christopher Nolan, it's probably going to be great. The only other person we know as part of this movie is Matt Damon. Tom Holland is said to be the lead though, and one of these articles did say it's rumored to be a period horror movie about vampires in the 1920s, which, oh, Christopher Nolan and horror? Immediately sold. Let me see what you do there. But this isn't the first time we've heard details about a Christopher Nolan movie that turned out wrong. I think the first details about this film came out is that it was going to be about a father and a son, and a writer for Variety did come out and say, I would tread lightly on the Nolan plot detail rumors that are out there. I've heard them all and most have been denied, so until the big guy says what it is, take everything with a grain of salt. But bottom line is, a lot of us are just happy that Tom Holland's talents are going to be put to use in a Christopher Nolan movie, because I do think Tom Holland is a really great actor. But I throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about the internet being happy that an actor got a job? Bringing us now to talk about these Venom 3 reactions. Now, your boy actually gets to see the movie tonight, so that means I'll most likely have a review for you guys tomorrow. But last night, people did get to watch Venom: The Last Dance, and we have reactions calling it the best Venom movie so far. We have here, Venom: The Last Dance is the best Venom movie. The insanity has been ramped up significantly, but so has the heart. It's not perfect, but it's super entertaining, and there's a giant monster that chews people up and sprays blood out of the back of its head. Pretty nuts. I've seen Venom: The Last Dance, and it's the most cinematic, monumental Venom movie to date. Eddie Brock and Venom's dynamic is at its strongest in this one, and stakes are so much higher. I had a lot of fun with this one. The final act is bonkers. Another review said, just saw Venom: The Last Dance, and it's a total blast. There's a lot of references to the symbiote lore, and that will wow fans. Great cinematic action, lots of funny moments, and an amazing chemistry between the main characters. Don't miss it, October 25th. So look, there's a lot of people coming out saying that they're happy with this movie. They had a good time. They enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but man, it's the best Venom movie. So now let's look at some negative reviews that are also still agreeing it's the best Venom movie. We have here one that says, I think Venom: The Last Dance is the best of the three, while still being incredibly bad. It's bizarre and watchable because it's willing to try anything. Symbiote fish? Sure. Mrs. Chen dancing sequence? Why not? I laughed a few times, but this trilogy accomplished very little. Sigh. Another one says, Venom: The Last Dance is a wacky buddy road trip that stretches its PG-13 rating as far as it will possibly go. Simply put, Venom 3 is a classic guilty pleasure cinema. Turn your brain off and let Venom snack on them. So there you go. To me, what that sounds like is, if you're a fan and enjoyer of the Venom movies, which I know there is tons of, you're gonna get what you want out of this movie. If you're someone kind of like me who still is iffy on these Venom movies, not the biggest fan of them, wish they maybe did something different with the character or just had him fight Spider-Man in the first place, you'll walk out disappointed and feeling like, what was the point of this trilogy? I'm kind of been beaten down by the Venom movies, and I'm just willing to have an entertaining time. So I'm hoping I come out agreeing that it is the best out of the three. Now, something we do got to talk about, which I'm not going to talk any spoilers here. See the movie in literally a couple hours. Might as well just save myself. I have been seeing some people say, though, the movie doesn't really exactly make it clear if it's a setup for Spider-Man 4 or not. Feels like the movie treats that part very vague, which I think is one of the things we're most curious about, is whether it does set up or not Spider-Man 4. I mean, even looking at this interview with Tom Hardy and the director, it definitely seems like something fishy's going on.
If not Venom, who is a character that you think moving forward could potentially be an adversary for Null?
Wow. I think...
You can't go there.
I could,
You can't go there.
I can't.
You're not allowed to go there. You're not allowed.
Not allowed.
There's three things that we can't talk about, and that's one of them.
Who could be an adversary for Noel? Am I not allowed to say who I think it should be?
Go on,
I'll say who I think it should be.
But I guess we'll wait and see by the end of this week. We'll have all our theories, whether it does set up Spider-Man 4, whether it doesn't. But you guys see these first reactions. How are you feeling about it? Anyways, guys, that is all the movie news we currently have going on right now. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of my day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.